Hello everyone. So recently I came across this video called What is Hinduism by a channel called Cogito, and I consider myself an ex-Hindu. I mean, I'm an atheist and I was born in a Hindu family, but I don't really identify myself. I don't really associate myself with the Hindu culture and the beliefs and everything, and I'm an atheist. So I consider myself an ex-Hindu, but I do know things about Hinduism. So I thought it would be a bit interesting if I react to see what this channel thinks about Hinduism. So yeah, here we go.
Hinduism, the religion of over a billion people, is the world's oldest religion and probably the most confusing one to non Hindus.
True.
Some say it isn't even a religion, more a way of life.
Okay, so here's the thing is like a religion is a way of life. Like any religion, like a religion consists of practices, and when people have these beliefs and practice these practices, it is technically a way of life. So calling it a way of life doesn't mean it's not a religion. A religion is a way of life. So there you go. Like calling Hinduism not a religion but a way of life is just it's 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 kind of stupid.
Hindus themselves call it the Sanatana Dharma, the eternal tradition. So, what is Hinduism? Does YOLO apply to them? And who is this elephant guy? Well, let's find out. Hinduism is the world's oldest active religion. It's the result of the merging of the ancient Indus Valley civilization and the nomads that came into India around 1500 BC. Some scholars say it could even go back many more thousands of years. But we won't delve too deep into dates, because dates in Hinduism are very controversial. But
Yeah, it is true. Like the origins of Hinduism is quite controversial. Like the Indus Valley civilization had great connections with the Mesopotamian civilization, and there have been like deities, seals, and coins featuring deities and supernatural figures found in both the civilizations. And it has been like also stated by many that these deities have been fused with the Indo-Aryan migrants inside India, and that's resulted in more deities which became the deities of Hinduism. Like it's complicated, like it's quite complicated, so I don't think I need to go to the details now. Let's continue with the video.
one thing is certain, Hinduism is old. Like, at least 36 Betty Whites. Hinduism has been around for so long that it and the concept of India itself are inseparable. Hindu and India even come from the same word. Sanskrit was the ancient language of the Hindus, and the Sanskrit name for the Indus River is Sindhu. The ancient Persians who sat across the Indus tended to switch their S's to H's, so Sindhu became Hindu. So the people living across the river became Hindus. The Persians told the Greeks, who dropped that very not Greek like H, stuck in a very Greek like E to the end, and boom, India. Hinduism has a
Okay, so here you just get the origin of term India, like the name of the country. It came from the Indus Valley civilization, of course. But like there are this like currently internationalists everyone knows about, and these people hate the term India because apparently it's a Western term and we shouldn't be using it. Yeah, it's stupid.
long history. But today we'll be focusing on just the core beliefs of Hindus because I don't have the willpower to animate a 3-hour long video. Hindus are a diverse group. Some are strict, dedicating their lives to prayer, while others don't believe in any gods but still follow Hindu philosophy. To make things easier to understand, let's break Hinduism down into 7 core beliefs. So, here's my rap about the 7 Hindu beliefs.
You promised you weren't gonna do the rap. Come on, you're better than this round.
Fine, here's the regular version then. 1. Belief in one universal soul. Hindus believe in a universal soul known as Brahman, a formless, genderless source of all reality. Brahman is the universe and the material that makes up the universe. It's a trippy concept, but think of Brahman as an ocean and everything else as drops propelling out of that ocean. Separate for a time, but still the same thing, if that makes sense.
But yeah, it's true. Like Brahman and Hinduism, like I think many moderate Hindus don't even know this. I mean, they talk about always keep talking about like moderate Hindus. They don't keep talking about like every Hindu belief they have. Like okay, so yeah, Brahman is in Hinduism existence itself, like the universe, like everything is Brahman, like the ultimate thing. Like it's kind of like a theistic god, I guess you could say, but yeah, it's like every is the universe, the existence itself is Brahman. They just defied existence itself.
2. Belief in an immortal individual soul. In Hinduism, souls are known as Atman. Actions of the soul while in a body have effects on that soul's next life. When you die, your soul moves to another new body. This is called transmigration. The kind of body the soul inhabits next is determined by karma.
Okay, so here's one thing. Yeah, I got it right. Like karma determines this thing. Like if you do wrong actions in this life, you will get the consequences in the next life, or the consequences you're facing this in this life are probably because of the actions you did in your previous life. And here's the thing. Like Western people usually like have romanticized this term karma to just mean basic courtesy among people. Like they're like, oh yeah, so you help the poor today, and tomorrow you get help from someone. But that's not how karma works. Karma is a very regressive concept. Like it justifies the caste system, the caste discriminations. It has. I mean, going. I think I might be able to go into the details of what karma is really in Hinduism and like dharmic religions uh, in some another video, but it will be too long if I go to the details right now. But it's a very regressive concept, which and also the wrong actions are not just what you would consider wrong by the today's standards. They're like what things Hinduism back then strictly considered as wrong, and by scientific knowledge today, we just cannot consider them wrong. They just exist, and we have to accept them.
3. Belief in karma. Karma is action, usually good or bad actions that affect society. For Hindus, karmic actions in the past affect us today, and our actions today affect our soul's future. 4.
Just like I said.
Belief in moksha. The goal in Hindu life is to somehow get back to Brahman. If a Hindu can do this, they will be freed from the cycle of life and death. This is called moksha.
Yeah, so moksha is basically like reincarnation is a thing in Hinduism, which isn't a thing like in Abrahamic religions. So I think Western people would struggle in getting this concept, but with karma and everything, like you get reborn and born again, like in this world, in different kinds of bodies, humans, animals, depending on your actions in the past life. Uh, I mean, it could be really bad for you by the concept of karma, but you can achieve moksha. That is, you can achieve freedom from this cycle of repeated birth, and you can achieve that by being a good Hindu. But again, like this is by Hindu standards, not uh, it's again like a stupid concept. Anyways,
You can achieve moksha by realizing your oneness with Brahman. How you realize this is up to you. For this reason, Hindus pray, lead me from the unreal to the real. 5. Belief in the Vedas. The Vedas are Hindu sacred books of knowledge. There are 4 Vedas. Hindus believe that all 4 were divinely revealed to ancient Hindu sages. We'll take a closer look at the Vedas in a while. 6.
okay, so the Vedas, yeah, it's true. Like the first one was Rig Veda, the oldest Hindu scripture in existence. And the other 3 Vedas. The Vedas are the oldest Hindu scriptures in existence, and there some people argue that they can be Hindus without believing in the Vedas, and they call themselves Nastic, which doesn't literally mean atheist. I mean, it means atheist today, but by Hindu standards, it's not literally atheist. It's more like the term heathen, because the schools of philosophy and Hinduism, they would consider anyone an Nastic who doesn't abide by their principles and standards. And so, not believing in the Vedas was like a taboo thing. And there was this atheist community, the Charvaks, in the past, and there's lots of details. But yeah, like some argue that you can be a Hindu without believing in Vedas, but I mean, which is possible. But yeah, like that's another detail for. I mean, we just don't have time to cover it in this video.
Belief in cyclical time. For Hindus, there are no beginnings or endings. Time is a series of cycles, each cycle containing 4 ages or yugas. There's the Krita, the Treta, the Dwapara, and the Kali. Added together, the 4 yugas total about 4.32 million years. At the end of each cycle, declining human morality leads to the total destruction of reality. Hindus believe that we are in the fourth and final yuga, Kali. 7.
Okay, so about the yugas, yes, there are four yugas like the Krita, the Sita, the Dwapara, and the Kali Yuga. Like this is a cycle. This goes on and on for the Hindus. The Hindus believe the universe is like few hundred trillion years old, like completely unscientific. Uh, Older theorists, should we call them, like the creationists are young earthers, so these would be old earthers, I guess. But anyway, so here's the thing, like people who are familiar with the Abrahamic religions know like how in the Bible, like humans used to have like this long lifespans back in the day, like hundreds of years of lifespans, and then by sin it became shorter and shorter gradually to like from 900 to 600, 500, and gradually to 120, and then 100, like this. It just became shorter, and the concept is very similar in Hinduism, like in the Krita Yuga, where humanity was pure and didn't have any sin, there was no corruption or anything, like humans lived for hundreds of years. But then gradually as the yugas progressed, like humanity got involved with corruption and other kinds of sin, and that's why the lifespan decreased. I think this concept is very similar to the biblical concept, the biblical approach. And yeah, the fourth yuga, the Kali Yuga, is like the final yuga, which according to Hindus, we are in the Kali Yuga right now, and it started back in like 3000 BCE, like somewhere near that. I don't remember the exact date, but it was around that time. And it has been on for quite a while, and this is the Yuga or era in Hinduism, which is supposed to like be kind of like the apocalypse, destruction of mankind. Like it is complete chaos and corruption and sin and everything. And here's also another thing, like many Christians believe, like I mean, Christians in general believe like in the second coming of Jesus to save humanity from sin, and there's this similar concept in Hinduism. Like in Kali Yuga, like Vishnu, one of the top three deities in Hinduism, will incarnate as his tenth and final avatar, Kalki, and save humanity from destruction in this yuga. So yeah, I mean, for people who are familiar with Abrahamic religions, you can find many similarities in Hinduism if you just know a bit about it. It's not very difficult to understand, but I can understand like most people don't know about it, so it's
Belief in Dharma. Dharma is a difficult word to translate to English. Proper behavior is the best that I could come up with. Dharma maintains balance in the universe. As long as everything in the universe, like animals, plants, and humans, follow their Dharma, then everything will be fine. If they break from the Dharma, though, things will be super not fine.
okay. So yeah, dharma, I would usually describe it as a job, I guess. Like it's your job. It's what you are supposed to do in your life, and about your caste, which will come about later on in this video. But yeah, so I think we will get to dharma again in this video, so I won't explain too much here, like, but you can just think of it as the job you need to do to just maintain society or something. But if you cannot do it, it will be like it's a sin in Hinduism, like it's sin, and it will be complete destruction of society and humanity, stuff like that. Like yeah.
Each being has its own Dharma. A lion's Dharma is to kill and eat antelope. A king's Dharma is to rule well. A subscriber's Dharma is to smash the like button and ring the notification bell. For humans,
Yeah, please go to their channel. I will link the original video from their channel in the description below, so give them a view and like their video, also my video if you can. So yeah,
their specific
that's your dharma.
Dharma is usually based on their age and their caste. An old priest will have a very different Dharma than a young merchant, for example. So those are the 7 core beliefs of Hinduism. With them, you can understand the Hindu mindset. Unlike Christianity or Islam, Hinduism is a non-profit organization. There is no Jesus or Muhammad for Hindus. There is no Bible, Quran, or Torah. Instead, they have a bunch, and I mean a bunch, of different sacred texts.
Yes, so I mean, Hinduism doesn't have a prophet. It's so old, like it got fused with different cultures and everything. Like it's a pagan religion. Just say it is a pagan religion. The only difference between Hinduism and the pagan religions I see many neo-pagans in the West following today is that those religions died at one time, but Hinduism continued to live on, and it's still living today. That's the only difference. Otherwise, definition of pagan religion would be pre-Abrahamic and polytheistic and derived from nature worship, all of which Hinduism subscribes to. So, like Hinduism is pre-Abrahamic, it's polytheistic, and it has been derived from nature worship because there are various gods ascribed to nature. And yeah, Hinduism doesn't have like one book. Yes, there is the Bhagavad Gita, which most Hindus consider the holiest of all the scriptures, which is a part of an epic called Mahabharata. And but there are like several books, like books of laws about Hinduism, and it's I mean even Islam has so many hadiths, not just the Quran. They have many hadiths. But yeah, and Hindus don't have a prophet, but Hindus do have like demigods or gods in their human incarnations. So which whom they like really adore, I say. So yeah.
The four Vedas form the basis of the Hindu faith. So let's take a look at them. 1. The Rig Veda. The Rig Veda is a collection of songs that praise and discuss ideas like truth, reality, and the universe, along with discussions on war, weddings, and rituals. 2. The Yajur Veda. The Yajur Veda covers stuff such as sacrificial rites and rituals. 3. The Sama Veda. Sama literally means sweet song that destroys sorrow. It is mostly songs dedicated to praising gods. It's different than the rest of the Vedas because it's set to music. 4. The Atharva Veda. The Atharva Veda is my favorite one. Do you want to curse your enemies? Or charm that special someone? Maybe learn to invoke rain? Or discover herbal medicine along with tips on warfare? Like how to make poison arrows? Well, this Veda has you covered, along with a bunch of other charms and curses. It even has a curse against cursers. Avoid us, O curse, as a burning fire avoids a lake. Strike him here that curses us, as the lightning of heaven the tree. A link to the Atharvaveda is in the description, just in case you need a spell to get a wife or another to banish pigeons from your presence. It's great. After the Vedas come the Upanishads, which are like a sequel that makes the original make much more sense. They were probably written down between 800 BC and 500 BC, during a time when some Hindus started to question the Vedas. Their ideas became the Upanishads. The Upanishads are books on philosophy, like we would expect from Plato or Aristotle. They're all about questioning, doubt, debate, and finding the answers to life's difficult questions. The theme in the Upanishads is that people are not their minds, or bodies, or egos, but their Atman. Your soul is you. Everything else is unreal and temporary. After the holy texts like the Vedas and the Upanishads are other less divine but still important texts. These include stuff like the Puranas, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Ramayana and the Mahabharata.
Okay, so Ramayana and Mahabharata are the two epics in Hinduism, and this video just considered them less, but like they are really really important to Hinduism. Like it's really very important, and the Bhagavad Gita is actually just part of the Mahabharata, but this part, like the Bhagavad Gita, is considered the holiest of all scriptures by most Hindus.
The Puranas are like encyclopedias of Hindu beliefs. There are 18 well-known Puranas.
Okay, let me just say, like, one of those Puranas has the Garuda Purana, which describes different kinds of punishments you get in hell for 11 chapters out of the 14 chapters in the book. Okay, so that's a whole new level of BS.
The Puranas cover things from yoga, to army organization, to taxation, to the caste system, to hell, gods, and everything in between. The Bhagavad Gita, the Gita for short, is one of Hinduism's most important texts. The Gita takes place on a battlefield where Arjuna, a great warrior, refuses to fight. Lord Krishna steps in to urge Arjuna to fight, and their discussion covers things such as dharma and how to live your best life.
And so, yeah, just think about it. Like, this guy refuses to fight because he doesn't believe in killing people, killing innocents. He doesn't believe in war. It's a good thing, right? And then comes Krishna, the incarnation of one of the top three deities in Hinduism, and he goes on for like 3 chapters about why Arjuna should fight in the war because his caste and karma. That's like he literally incites him to go to war.
Arjuna eventually fought after Lord Krishna taught him the truth about dharma. As a member of the warrior caste, Arjuna's dharma was to fight against evil. The lesson of the Gita is that everyone faces difficult choices, but they
Not just evil, just war. This is like it's actually said in the Gita, like Krishna said to Arjuna that yeah, your caste wants you to, your dharma is to fight. Don't care about people dying because people will die whether you kill them or they die by some other means. They will die. So it literally promotes killing, genocide, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it literally says the certain caste of people, the top, the second topmost class, the Kshatriya, the warrior caste, they can kill people. It promotes war, it promotes killing, it promotes genocide. Like, that's that's really messed up.
must act on them according to their dharma, no matter how unpleasant. Along with all these philosophical texts, Hinduism has two action packed epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. The Ramayana, the earlier of the two texts,
Okay, so here's the thing. Like this video is calling it the Ramaya, it's the Ramayana, the Ramayan, whatever. Am I hearing it wrong? Like, are they calling it the Ramayan? Because I'm hearing that just Ramaya. So I don't know. It could be that I'm hearing it wrong or they're saying it wrong. But anyways,
tells the story of Prince Rama. In the epic, you find out about his 14-year-long exile, the abduction of his wife Sita, his battle with the evil demon Ravana.
by the way, the scenes they're showing here are like from an anime, an old 90s anime movie, and the Hindus actually were really against the release of that movie because Japan produced it. It's stupid, I know, but yeah, the movie is good. It's not the original Ramayana; it's just like an abridged version made into an anime movie. But it's good. But that's not the like whole Ramayana there.
And his awesome monkey sidekick Hanuman.
Okay, so if someone actually reads the original Ramayana, the protagonist Ram is like complete asshole. Like, I'll just say it. He's completely an asshole.
The second epic, the Mahabharata, is the longest poem in the world. 5 times the length of the Bible and 8 times the length of the Iliad and Odyssey combined. It rivals any soap opera you've ever seen when it comes to drama. Murder, betrayal, love murder, and giant battles. The Mahabharata has it all. The theme running through the Ramayana and the Mahabharata is that
Okay, so the Mahabharata is like basically like Game of Thrones kind of shit. Okay, one can read the Mahabharata and enjoy it. Like you can enjoy it if you enjoy like ancient or medieval stories, epics. You can easily enjoy Mahabharata. There's no problem. It's just like putting in practice. These are really awful.
the Dharma must be followed for society to function. In Hinduism, there are 4 goals a person should aim for to have a good life. The first of these is Dharma, followed by Artha, the pursuit of prosperity and good reputation, Kama, pleasure both in body and in mind, and Moksha, release from the cycles of rebirth. Hindus should practice Artha and Kama with Dharma in order to achieve Moksha. There are also 6 temptations Hindus should try and avoid. Kama, lust and materialism. This Kama is different from the good Kama mentioned above. I know. Next is Kruda, which is anger, Lobha, which is greed, Moha, which is unrealistic attachment to things, people, and power, Mada, which is pride, and Matsarya, which is jealousy. By following
Basically, the seven deadly sins of Hinduism, right? Uh, like the Abrahamic, I mean, this is for the people who are familiar with Abrahamic religions. Like you have seven deadly sins. This is the Hindu version here. Like I said, you will find various similarities in Hinduism with the Abrahamic religions. It's not that different. It's just old, and that's why has a lot more contradictions and a lot more scriptures and changes made to it. But it's not that different.
their Dharma and avoiding these 6 temptations, a Hindu can break the cycle of rebirth and have their soul merge back into Brahman. But even though everything comes from Brahman, who is the one real thing in Hinduism, Hindus do, after all, have thousands of gods. So
330 million to be precise. Yeah, that was the number 330 million gods. There were that many gods and goddesses in Hinduism is crazy.
let's take a look at them. First, there's Brahma, the creator. He created everything in the universe, but he is not the universe itself, because that's Brahman. They aren't the same thing. That last letter changes a lot, apparently. He has 4 heads. The heads face each of the 4 directions to represent the 4 Vedas, which he created, and the 4 yugas. He also holds a book, which represents knowledge. Oh, and he rides a giant swan because he's just fancy. His consort is Saraswati, the god.
And fun fact, Brahma is like one of the gods which made me become an atheist at quite a young age because I was like, how come anyone have 4 heads and sit on a lotus which is blooming on top of clouds? Because that's what is portrayed as. And I mean, I studied science in school, okay? Like, everyone knows what clouds are made of, so it's just a fun fact. And also like Saraswati is his consort, his wife, kind of, and also his daughter. I mean, Brahma is the parent of Saraswati. So, oh, a little Alabama shit going on here.
Goddess of learning. Vishnu the Preserver is the second member of the Hindu Trinity. He preserves a world created by Brahma until it is eventually destroyed by Shiva. He holds a discus which he uses to cut down anyone that tries to mess with his dharma, along with a conch which symbolizes victory on the five elements. Vishnu has many avatars, such as Krishna or Rama.
Yeah, Krishna and Rama are the two most popular ones. I mentioned earlier in this video about Kalki, like kind of like the second coming of Jesus. He's the one who is supposed to save humanity and like the from complete annihilation. And also like in Hinduism, Buddha, Gautama Buddha, like the prophet, the mythical prophet of Buddhism, is also an incarnation or avatar of Vishnu.
Who he uses to defend Dharma on Earth. Oh, and he rides a giant eagle named Garuda. Vishnu has two consorts, the goddess Lakshmi and Bhudevi. Bhudevi is the earth goddess and Lakshmi is the goddess of good fortune and wealth. Next is Shiva the Destroyer, the third member of the Hindu Trinity. It's his job to destroy the universe in order to prepare for its renewal at the end of each cycle of time. The most identifiable of his features is his third eye, which he almost always keeps closed. If he does open it and you're in front of him, then you will have your face melted off. When not on making existence, Shiva enjoys round walks with his bull named Nandi.
This guy also beheaded his son. I thought I should mention this here. I won't be going into the details, but just a fun fact for you all.
At the end of the Kali Yuga, the fourth age of the world, Shiva will perform a dance that destroys the universe. Which is odd because people have told me that my dance moves make them wish the world would end. So me and Shiva have quite a lot in common. Parvati and Sati are Shiva's consorts. Shiva also has two sons, Ganesha and Murugan.
Yeah, so Ganesha is the son I was talking about. Like, according to one, like there are like many versions of the story, but the most popular versions. Ganesha was created or born as like a regular human-like being, and Shiva beheaded him, and then tried to fix his mistakes. So he just beheaded an elephant and put the head on top of his body to give. That's ridiculous, right? And yeah, like the two consorts, yes. And there's also another story about Shiva and Vishnu, where like Vishnu turned into a woman and Shiva got turned on by uh, Vishnu's woman form named Mohini, and they just had it. And yes, so there's another version of this. I mean, that's another like relationship between Shiva and Vishnu, I guess.
Ganesha is worshipped as the remover of obstacles, and Murugan is the god of war. Ganesha holds a very special place in the heart of Hindus, due to him being the remover of obstacles. The elephant head is the most obvious clue to identifying him. He was actually born with a human head, but after Shiva cut that one off, he kind of had to make do with an elephant one. If you're Christian or Muslim, you're aware that your religion has a bunch of different denominations, like Catholics or Protestants, Sunni and Shia. Hinduism has these too. Hindus developed four major denominations, some of which have their own subdivisions. The Vaishnavas primarily worship Vishnu, and Shaivas primarily worship Shiva and his sons. Smartas follow sacred texts like the Puranas, the Ramayana, and the Mahabharata, rather than the Vedas. They worship five gods and goddesses, Ganesha, Durga, Surya, Shiva, and a preferred avatar of Vishnu. Finally, Shaktas worship the goddess Devi. Shaktas see Devi as the ultimate and eternal reality, like a feminine Brahman. Even though there are all these variations and more, the core beliefs of Hindus remain mostly the same.
Okay, so this is one point. Like mostly the Hindu nationalists and the self-proclaimed Hindu atheists tend to argue like, they get this as an argument in favor of their point, which is like Hinduism isn't a religion. Strict religion is a way of life, which I already said. Any religion is a way of life, but they also say like Hinduism isn't just one thing. Like it's Western influence that is considering Hinduism as one thing, but that's not really the case. Like this video actually did a pretty good job in mentioning the core beliefs, and these are the core beliefs that hold every Hindu together. Like every Hindu has these core beliefs, whether you like it or not, and they often say like Hinduism is not like Abrahamic religions, and people should stop trying to compare Hinduism to Abrahamic religions. But I think like they are very comparable. Like even Abrahamic religions like Christianity and Islam, they have several denominations. The Catholics, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, everything, and Christianity and Shia, Sunnis, Ahmadis, several smaller denominations in Islam, and Hinduism has this kind of stuff like the Shaivas and Vaishyas are the two major ones. You can have other like the six theistic schools of Hinduism, and these are like just these are part of Hinduism. They still have one core belief. It's not like there's completely separate things and people are just trying to define them as one word, which is Hinduism. No, that's not the case. Hinduism is a religion like the Abrahamic religions. It is a way of life because any religion is a way of life. So yeah, there you go.
Hindus believe that Dharma keeps the balance in the universe. If the scales between good and evil start tipping towards evil, then something needs to intervene to fix the universe's Dharma. This divine intervention is known as an avatar. The literal meaning of the word avatar is descent.
Yeah, I would describe it as incarnation. Yeah, you can call it descent. Like it's basically the same thing, right? Yeah, so yeah, the word originated in Hinduism. It is basically when a goddess incarnates as a human in on Earth. That's an incarnation. That's an avatar. Like I think the closest we can get in Christianity would be like it's kind of controversial among Christians, several denominations, but I would just go with it. Just to give an example, is that when God, the biblical God Yahweh, uh, made Mary pregnant, who gave birth to Jesus. And there are Christians who say Jesus is God. Jesus is the Son of God, but Jesus is God. Like this, you can take Jesus as the Son of God, but if you take like God Himself becoming Jesus, then that would be like, and then Jesus would be the avatar of God. That kind of thing.
Avatars are gods that descend to Earth to intervene whenever help is needed to restore Dharma. For example, when the Earth was dragged underneath the ocean, Vishnu descended to Earth as the avatar Varaha, a boar, and dragged the Earth back out. In other cases, Vishnu was born on Earth as a human avatar like Rama or Krishna, where he spent his avatar's life fixing Dharma. So, the caste system. If you only know one thing about Hinduism, this is probably it.
Yeah, so anyone in the world, if like they have to know one thing about Hinduism, they would probably know about the caste system because let's be honest, Hinduism is the only religion in the world right now which actively still promotes such a regressive concept. The caste system, which leads to so much discrimination in India and Nepal, and even among Hindu communities in other countries like the US, there's large Indian Hindu communities there, and the caste system is still going on in those countries. Like those are completely free countries, but just, I mean, this is horrible.
People see it as an oppressive system that locks people in place based on their birth.
Because that is what it does.
And for a huge part of history, that's what it's been, unfortunately. Let's do a quick explanation of what the caste system is. In Hinduism, there are 4 castes or classes that you can be born into. There's
The Brahmins are the scholars of the priests, and they were created from the head of the Brahman. The Kshatriyas, the warrior or the ruler caste, like these are the kings, the warriors, kind of you would say the royalty and the knightly classes of medieval Europe. If I have to really compare this to something, like those would be in the Kshatriya caste. The Vaishyas would be the traders, the merchants. From the thighs, the Kshatriyas from the arms, Vaishyas from the thighs, and the Shudras are the slave. Literally, they're literally the slave caste. Okay, they throughout like in several Hindu scriptures they have been considered as the slave caste, and their only purpose is to meekly serve the other upper castes. So there you got it. And there's another, the untouchables. They're the less untouchables. They are considered as the outcasts, so they are not even in the caste system, which makes them even, which according to Hindus makes them filthy for just menial jobs like anything to do with dead meat or latrine cleaning, stuff like that.
Brahmin, the priest, the Kshatriyas, the warriors, the Vaishyas, the traders, and the Shudras, the manual laborers. The main basis for the caste system can be found in the Bhagavad Gita and the Rig Veda.
Okay, so this video just called the Shudras manual laborers, which yes they were, but I guess it could be because like the Western, if we go with the Western, they really are right now they're very sensitive about slavery and everything because of their history. But the Shudras are literally the slave caste.
Krishna says in the Gita, I have created a 4-fold system in order to distinguish among one's qualities and functions. The Rig Veda also refers to the 4 castes. It says humans were created from parts of the god Purusha, the Brahmin from his face, the Kshatriya from his arms, the Vaishya his thighs, and the Shudra his feet. This system was supposed to assign people functions based on their abilities, not their birth.
This is actually wrong. Like many Hindu apologists and Hindu admirers, like often argue this point. Like, yeah, it has always been about their abilities, not by their births. And some Hindu apologists and Hindu nationalists even come and say, like, oh, it has always been about people's abilities, and it's just the Mughals and British came to India and enforced the rule by birth just to divide Hindus, which is not true. I mean, I can give some examples from Gita, the holiest scripture, about the caste system, and it's just false. It is completely divided by what Hindus are divided among themselves by this. Like they are so bigoted that they created a system for so much bigotry inside their own culture. Like this is so ridiculous.
If someone had the qualities of a Brahmin or a Vaishya, they could fill those roles. The Gita didn't restrict movement among castes, and the caste system functioned as intended for a while. Until
Okay, so here's the thing. No, I really disagree with this part. I mean, I don't think it's the fault of the channel and the guy who's like stating these points. It is very possible like he got these points from somewhere. But yeah, let me just say the Gita actually says that by nature, the Brahmins are to be priests and scholars by nature. They use this term the by nature almost everywhere. The Kshatriyas are supposed to be rulers and warriors. The Vaishyas, the traders, the Shudras, the slaves. By nature, they are supposed to meekly serve the other upper castes. It has been said, and they've also said like it is the best thing you can do like for your dharma is that you just do the dharma of your caste, the job of your caste, even if you do it poorly, then it is better to do it poorly than if you can do the job of another caste really efficiently. Like if like A equals you doing your given job poorly, and B equals you doing someone else's given job really, really efficiently. Those jobs are ascribed by birth, and according to the Gita, A is still way better than B. That's just ridiculous. That literally proves it's not by birth. If it was by abilities, then your ability is more about what you can do efficiently, more efficiently. That's like common sense. But it literally says like I think it was chapter 18 of Bhagavad Gita. I don't exactly remember the verse, but it was around that chapter 18, most likely around verse 40 or something, I guess. Okay, I think it was chapter 18, 40, verse 47, probably around that. But yeah, it literally said that it is better for you to do your given dharma poorly than someone else's dharma really efficiently. So it clearly proves that it's by birth, not by abilities.
a document known as the Laws of Manu came about around the 5th century BC, popularly referred to as the Manu Smriti. They created hard rules for Hindu life. Two rules presented in it contributed to the way the caste system turned out. Manu states that the Brahmin were the lords of all castes, and he forbid moving among the castes.
Okay, so Manu, the guy called Manu is basically like the progenitor of the human race, according to Hinduism. He's like the Adam of and also Noah because he's also survived the Great Deluge, the Hindu version of Great Deluge, because almost every major religion now has this Great Deluge. Like the original one was probably the Epic of Gilgamesh from Mesopotamian myths, and this is one of the oldest. I mean, the biblical flood is very, very new compared to Mesopotamia and Hindu civilizations. So yeah, I mean, but these are the laws which they assume. I mean, Manu would be the one closest to a prophet, if you really want to consider someone, but he's still not really the prophet. I would say the more like, I mean, you people don't really consider Adam as the prophet, right? So that's the thing. And yeah, so literally like Manu, the laws were literally the Hindus believe these laws were given by Manu because this is how he got them from God, and it does forbid moving among us, and it is like one of the most regressive books in all of among all of Hindu scriptures. It's horrible, And yeah, I mean, the Hindu nationalists, they literally want to replace the Indian constitution with this book because these are supposed to be the laws Hindus should abide by. So that's scary as fuck. But yeah, but yes, this is not the only book. Like I said before, the Gita also gives castes by birth, not abilities.
The caste you were born into was now the caste you're stuck in. If you give humans a hierarchy, they'll exploit it, and things will go sour pretty quickly. As time passed, Hindus began thinking in terms of upper and lower castes. Soon, cleaning toilets, tanning leather, and dealing with meat products were thought to be impure.
Not soon. This is another thing. Like I already said, how Gita already has this thing. Most holy scripture already has this thing before Manusmriti. And one of another verses in Gita says like the verse about equality, like in those would point out to this verse when talking about equality in Hinduism, and they're like, hey, every life is equal. Humans should respect every life, including cows, horses, donkeys, and the verse goes like, cows, horses, donkeys, and like this, some animals, and even the untouchables. Like that's how it goes. That's how low you are. You're after the animals, but it's just PR. Like even the untouchables, like the way the verse is, you just know that's nothing about equality. That's just BS, and that's already there. The lower caste thing, the outcast thing that already exists. Manusmriti is just stating the laws that already existed in Hinduism.
The people doing those jobs became untouchables, the lowest of the low, a people without caste. And the rest is history. The modern world has brought many changes though. Now Hindus mix freely while working together in the same businesses, attending the same schools, and generally just living together.
I wish, I so wish. I mean, yes, there are moderate Hindus these days who don't really care about caste, but this is nothing near to being normalized. I mean, caste discrimination is a huge problem in India. Even in jobs and schools, the Indian constitution has done some things to help them, but the lower caste are getting discriminated because they're getting help. Like that's another level of ridiculousness. And even like the Hindu communities abroad, like in the US, like I recently reported like on Atheist Republic's channel on the live stream, we talked about uh, caste discrimination in an American company, Cisco, in America, not in India, not one of the Indian branches. It was among the Indian employees. Two managers were discriminating against a guy because his caste was supposed to be lower in America, of all places. So just it's nothing. It's still there. It's not gone. Its game is still there. There are so many crimes related to caste discrimination in India every month, every single month. Just like a couple of months ago, there have been like around 40 cases, major cases, and this is a huge problem. This is not gone at all.
But when it comes to marriage, many Hindus still stick to their own caste. But this too is changing, and on Hindu dating websites, you can actually see people list a non-preference for caste.
I mean, this isn't this like. I don't really mind, guys. Like the fact that someone has to say this that they don't really caste. Like it's like the how Western, how people in the West would understand this. Where, hey, yeah, race is not really that a matter to me. I can date a person from any race. Like, just imagine, just that statement. It sounds like racism is still a problem, right? Yes, because casteism is a problem, and they're not just castes. There's thousands of subcastes, and people go by those, and it's crazy in India. The discrimination is crazy.
It'll say caste no para. So, those are the basics of Hinduism. It isn't even close to covering everything. One video simply can't do it. Hinduism is too diverse, too deep, and means too many different things to different people. But learning even the basics of this fascinating and ancient religion gives us an insight into the worldview of over 1 billion people. And I hope you enjoyed it. You can
Yeah, so really, like, it isn't like near to everything in Hinduism. Even I didn't say anything near to everything in Hinduism, and like, but that's the time we got for now. But yeah, it could be like fascinating for many people to learn about old cultures like Hinduism, old religions, but in practice, it is not amazing, not fascinating at all. It is regressive. It is plain regressive. Like, if you just want to learn about it, great. You should. I mean, I love to learn about old cultures and everything, but please don't practice this religion. This is like so bad. It's no better than its Abrahamic counterparts.
Find all the sources used in the description below. If you would like to follow your correct Dharma, then please subscribe. If you're interested in supporting the channel, there are links to my t-shirt store and Patreon also in the description. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, please like and subscribe. I will link to their channel to this particular video down in the description. So check them out, give them a subscribe, and all the good stuff. And yes, see you later. Bye. Peace.